Now that March is here, we can look back on how my first full month of unemployment went. So let's jump into the Google Sheets. It wasn't so bad. I don't think. Let's just start at the top, like we always do with income. Unemployed means $0 from your W-2 income, so the furlough continues. And now my next income down is unemployment. I am allowed up to my state maximum, which is $427 a week. Average 4 weeks in a month is $1708 for a month. However, I reported my YouTube income last week. I was told by two separate people now that they were going to take that dollar amount out of my unemployment benefit. Just so I reported $270 from YouTube, which we'll see in a second. I was told they were going to subtract $270 from that week's unemployment benefit, but they didn't, so it actually ended up being somehow a percentage of it, but I don't know. I'm still confused on the whole process, but all in all, for the month of February, I got $1,566 from unemployment. It's certainly a blessing, and that absolutely covers my rent plus $11, so I can't complain about that. That is obviously my largest expense, as it is for most people, is housing. So, as much as it stinks that unemployment doesn't cover my bills and they subtract extra income that you make, whether a whole dollar amount or a percentage of it, it kind of stinks. Feels a little bit de-incentivizing when it comes to trying to go work and find other like gig work or side hustle things to try to make up the difference just to cover my monthly bills, and they're just gonna like subtract from it. So that's a stinky process, and this is my first time stumbling through it ever, so it's been an interesting learning curve. And for March, I'll have to talk to them about rental income. I had $0 for February because my tenant moved out January 31st, and I have hired a contractor to get it rent ready for me, which was a lot. They're still working on it. It should be done hopefully soon. Either way, I had to pay $2,302 of it out of pocket in February, which was 50% of the contracted work, the other 50% to be paid theoretically in March when the work is totally done. So minus $2,302 on the rental income for February. I have one rental property and it has its own bank account, so I just pulled from there, so I didn't have to pull from like personal savings. Not a great month for rental income. YouTube, I only ever have a goal of meeting the $100 payout threshold, but like I said, you guys came through. Man, once I announced that the furlough happened, like that evening, a lot of you like went back through and watched old videos and just let the ads play on my videos and have given to me through the super thanks option, and you guys are so amazing. And now that February is done, like it was even more in February, and because that payout was for January, sorry, YouTube pays the following month for last month, so that was from January's pay. So even just the second half of that month, you guys knowing I was like not in a great spot with sudden unemployment, and you came through for me big time, and I appreciate you guys so much. That was so cool. And certainly in the next item as well, in direct support, I have zero expectation ever through, and this is Venmo and PayPal. Collectively, you guys gifted me $587.99, which is mind-blowing. I'm so grateful and appreciative to you guys so very much. That blows me away. And so the month in total had a rough gain of about $122, which, with the rental income in there, it doesn't necessarily speak directly to my own like personal spending income and deficit, but I realize my spreadsheets are not super thoroughly accurately set up to differentiate personal versus rental, so it's a little squirrely, but it's where we're at. Let's move on. Expenses, like I said, rent, my highest expense, $1,555. Health insurance, I was told I was going to have to pay $392 a month, so that's what I paid for February. After that, I have shared with you guys, they told me I overpaid by like $50, and that $392 that I paid actually covered like the whole 90-day furlough to keep my health benefits. So I don't know. Apparently that $392 covered March and April as well, up to April 18th, which is my 90-day furlough mark. Whatever, I don't know. And mobility training, I meant to just like remove that line altogether. Things got trimmed away, and mobility training was absolutely that thing. Electricity it's usually $60. It was $62.21. Internet's $65. Mohila is my student loan servicer. Federal student loans, no income, no payment. Gym is $15 a month. Netflix, thank you Janelle. She through Venmo, I think, or was it PayPal? One of the two. She said, I want to pay for your Netflix this month, so thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. And now food and household, I was hopeful to keep that at $50 for the month of February. I went into the month, I was like, okay, let's do a really serious freezer and pantry challenge and see if I can just keep it to $50 with just like getting myself by with that amount for produce for the month, since I have had plenty of like pantry items, grains and pastas and beans and lentils and things in the freezer. In fact, like tons of already ready-made soup portions, because when I cook, it's hard to like cook for one person. I don't actually ever try to cook for one person because I value leftovers very much because it means less cooking. So whenever I make like soups and stews and curries, I try to make a big portion and just freeze individual portions. So I've done really well. I was hoping to keep it at $50, but I'm funny. No, I spent $113.22 altogether on food for the month. Not great, but not crazy, considering every month prior to this, my budget has been $500. And even that, I generally went over, not by a lot, but generally a little bit. And I know that seems wild for one person to some people, because I've heard that in the comments, but I enjoy going out to eat. I didn't technically go out to eat in February, but I did like twice. I went to like a sandwich shop and grabbed a sandwich, and that was like, if I'm driving down to Boston for the night to go to a concert, I'll grab a sandwich on the way and eat that so I'm not hungry and having to buy something expensive at the venue, that kind of thing. So even in groceries alone, I spent probably $80 to $90 of that was just in produce. And did I really buy much other than produce? A few things I've shown you guys, but nothing crazy. Well, a jug of syrup, that was $20. In fact, what video was it? My first, like, oh my gosh, the long like day of plant-based freezer and cupboard meals. It was like a 45-minute video or something, but I shared with you guys my first produce haul from the local farm store, and I was like, I just spent $47 on this like lump of produce. Not lump, there was a small pile on the counter, but it's just like carrots and potatoes and some bok choy and some herbs, that I was like, I spent $47 and no one questioned me on that. Like, damn, girl, I know inflation's rough, but $47 on this much produce? No, I totally forgot about that jug of syrup, and I found it later after I'd filmed the video, and it was sitting in my reusable grocery bag on the kitchen floor, like around the corner from the table, so I just didn't see it while I was filming that. That jug of syrup alone was $20 or $25. So No, I didn't spend $47 on produce. 25 of that was syrup. But no one caught that. No one questioned it, including myself when editing that video. So anyway, no one cared, but yeah, 25 bucks of that was also a jug of maple syrup because I like the real deal and I like to buy it from local farmers because, hello, I'm in New England. That's where all the good maple syrup comes from. So anyway, no one cared. Let's move on. Where are we? Gas and car wash. I did good. 41, 42. That's like one tank of gas. Pet supplies. 50 bucks is normally what I normally budget 25. I don't know. I knew I was going to have to spend more. I didn't buy, I don't think, any pet supplies last month. And that's usually how it goes. I do a Chewy order for their kibbles and litter and wet food. They don't need that every month, right? So it's like every other month I do a bigger order. So February was that month, and I spent $144 because I also bought some cat food, some wet food that is pricier, but it's more like all natural. I don't know if you've heard of it. Smalls for cats. It's basically like, what the heck are those dog food brand names that I'm totally slipping my mind right now? But like the more natural, real food, kept refrigerated, not full of preservatives in a can kind of thing. So I am experimenting because they're so picky. Was he sleeping? I'm sorry. They're so picky. Like this guy will only eat seafood and Piper will only eat poultry. So it's so annoying. I love you, but that's so annoying. Because I can't open one thing. One of them won't eat it. But anyway, we're trying some good natural food. I just want to feed them better than like the Friskies canned shit, which obviously they love because it's probably like cat junk food. But we're experimenting. So we spent a good pretty penny in February. And then next item down, invest, donate, save. Like goes kind of without saying, wasn't really an option. And spending, I was hoping to not buy anything. $137. You can't always help it when you're gonna need things like new undies and socks, and you're gonna find a good deal. So, were you coming back in? I'm sorry. Hi. So what else did we? And of course, my water filter decided to die in February. I had like a Brita, but cheap Walmart brand, and the big one that you fill up, and then there's like a spigot on it, and the spigot just absolutely went flying the other day when I went to fill my cup of water. So I had to buy a new water filter, and this time I got a Brita. I hate having cheap plastic junk water filter. Like the water sucks so bad here. I can deal with most tap water, but this tap water has like eaten the inside of the faucets just in the couple years I've been here, and the handyman told me as such. So just not something I want to be drinking or allowing the cats to drink. So one day hopefully we'll have our own well and not on city water, but until then we're doing what we do. And then other things happen. $30. So it was parking in Boston for one evening for a concert, which is like just as expensive as the concert ticket most times, but that's Boston for you. We're done with the monthly, so I'm gonna pop over to the yearly because it helps to have a little peek at what's going on big picture right away. That $2,300 coming out of the rental properties savings account, the net worth took a little hit for that, and it'll take another one in March when I pay the second half of that bill. But that's okay. It's all for the cause, I hope. Down here, I update my asset column on the last day of the month. So this was what things were looking like on the last day of January, and then this is the last day of February. So overall, things went down by just a couple $100, which is amazing given that $2,300 expense from the real estate savings. That means other things had good growth, which is exciting. The value of the rental property goes up by about 50 something bucks a month just by virtue of that much of the mortgage going to the balance, which is not a lot, but hey, it's a small mortgage anyway. And the 401k, yeah, it's the stock market. It seems to be doing all right now. FundRise, meh. It's been hanging pretty level for the last few months, but whatever. That's like a long-term, that's crowdfunded real estate investing without actually having to own the physical property. In case you're unfamiliar with what FundRise is, I like it because I like real estate, but my one rental property I do own proves to be a headache. So just diversifying, and I don't know what's been going on with Bitcoin lately, but this crypto I've not been paying attention to. I've said that I think every month for the last year or so, but man, and I just updated it in this morning, and it's only March 4th. And so from February 29th to today, like, I don't know what's going on. I do not care about crypto. That was, I think I put like $500 in Coinbase collectively. And that was that was 2020 when I think the big Coinbase craze came about, and that was just like fun extra money. Whatever, if something happens, cool. If not, no skin off my back. I mean, I was making a lot of money at the time, so it didn't matter, but I've certainly made my money back, so I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I don't really care whatsoever, but yeah, so, slight dip in the net worth, recovered a little, and again, I don't really care about net worth. I didn't care about it until 2023 when it suddenly, first time in my adult life, was going to be positive, and so all I care is that 2024 we stay in the green, like manage expectations, I guess, but all in all, like, I feel like my first month of unemployment went okay. I didn't have to dip into my savings. Thank you to you guys helping me bridge that gap. That's crazy. I'm so appreciative. And I've always operated with like a slush amount in my checking account that I never it's not accounted for anywhere in my net worth. I don't really care, just because I don't do zero-based budgeting, because even though I spreadsheet my budget, which some people would argue like that's so neurotically fine-tuned into your money that it's like too much and overbearing, but I disagree. I like to keep it as a good, healthy, like, especially the year at a glance sheet, just to like make sure overall I'm going in a positive direction and nothing is getting too out of hand one way or the other, right? Like, I'm keeping in tabs on my savings and my spending, and so I like that healthy balance, but I'm not like paycheck to paycheck doing a zero-based budget. That to me feels like too nitty-gritty and like tedious and constantly obsessing about money because you got to worry about the pennies. I understand zero-based budgeting does not have to be that way. I'm not like blanket statementing that. I'm just saying, for me, I just do what works for me. And so like a loose spreadsheet is good enough. I like the spreadsheet because I've been doing the spreadsheet since 2016 now, when I would argue that 2016, 2017 was like the worst financial period of my adult life, like the toughest, the really shitty, like couple years, those first 2 years out of grad school when you're just making dirt shit and watching your student loan balance go up and up and up because you didn't realize they had predatory interest rates systems, and it was an ugly time. So I can see the progression of not only like dollar for dollar where my accounts are at, but my habits as well. Like no longer having credit cards in my line items or a car loan, things like that. It's just kind of fun, I think, to be able to look back and be like, damn, that's, I'm a couple years away from spreadsheeting my life for a decade, and just to see, positive progression of healthy financial habits, and knowing now I like have healthy mental boundaries with money and things like that. And it just feels really positive because, as I've talked about plenty, student loans really forced money to be like the overarching theme in my life, and the constant feeling like I never had enough and the need to chase more, and just like it kept me in that like mental toxic loop of obsession and scarcity mindset, and just it was too much. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah. So I guess, I don't know, a spreadsheet could go either way. It can keep you neurotic in it, but also it was really fun for me too in 2018, 2019, when I got the high paying job and started debt snowballing and tackling things and watching my monthly bill list shrink and shrink. It can be motivating too. So I guess it's just all like how you use it, how you look at it. And no one asked about my spreadsheet, so I just went off for too many minutes about it. But okay, so if that's helpful for anyone, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. March, it's the month of spring and birthday month. I'm gonna go eat all the birthday freebies that I can find. So thanks for being here. I can't wait to update you guys on the next step of life process, which I know I'll see you tomorrow on Transfer Tuesday, but hopefully I have other more exciting things to share soon. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.